Assalamu alaikum, my beloved students. This is your history class for class 7th, week 5th, May 4 to May 8, 2020. So, chapter number 2, Muslim inventors and scholars, topics to be covered in this particular week will be Ibn Battuta, Ibn Khaldun, which is at page number 10 and 11 of your textbook. Let me tell you about your textbook a little bit. Your textbook is Understanding History by Oxford for class 7, written by Ismat Riaz. And let me give you a quick recap of what we studied the previous week. We studied about the other, famous Muslim personalities and events related to them, their discoveries, their researches, which they gave to the world, which really helped Europe to build more advances in the fields of science and technology and several other fields as well. So in this particular week, we're going to study, and the topics that we have to cover are Ibn Battuta, Ibn Khaldun, and last but not the least, the end of the golden age of the Muslims. So I think we should get into the lecture now. So the objectives: students will be able to know about the famous Muslim personalities, comprehend the famous historical events and maps, etc. And students will be able to know the contribution in the field of science and technology by Muslim learned scholars and what they gave to the world in the field of research, in the field of knowledge, and in the field of development, and what Muslim scientists actually contributed in the fields and the advances of the world, and now methodology. So the methodology would be the presentation slides in line with textbook content that you can see right now, audio visuals aid, resources have been provided including YouTube links to the documentaries, maps, cartography added in the slides. You'll be able to see that as well. Home assignments, and another very important thing that I've highlighted with the red font here is your chapter 2nd test. And I'll put the test in assignment and the solved one in the key file. Solved assignment keys are also provided. So Ibn Battuta, 1304 to 1368, page number 10 of your textbook. A famous Muslim traveler and explorer of all time. On foot, horseback, camel, and by sea, he covered almost 120,000 kilometers. That is 3 times the circumference, the length of the earth. And it was a really spectacular thing on his, regards, that he on foot, collectively on foot, horseback, or by camel, or by ship in the sea, he covered the 3 times the length of the earth. He visited Spain and traveled across North Africa, including Sahara, the Middle East, Arabia, Turkey, Central Asia, eastward to India, Maldives, Southeast Asia, and China. He was a Qazi. That shows that he was a quite learned man and held a position for several years at the court of Delhi's ruler, Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So he was somebody who was at court, and he would give verdicts on different various issues as well. He returned to his hometown in Morocco in 1353 and thereafter dictated the amount of his travels, which was written as the Rihla. This was the Rihla was something where he actually dictated and documented the amount of the travel that he actually did and wrote down in that particular collection. So basically what we know of Ibn Battuta is he was somebody who would travel across the earth. He actually went to different places, as I've highlighted it with the red fonts, North Africa to Asia and China. So it was quite kind of a person that actually contributed in the fields of traveling and exploring the world. And at the bottom you can see 2 pictures, a map of the places Ibn Battuta traveled. It's a rough map that you can see. It shows us Turkey, Egypt, Arabia, Sudan, Libya, Kazakhstan, Iran, and other several places, Lebanon. So this is it about Ibn Battuta, and I'm going to attach a documentary link as well in your assignment or in your resources file. So Ibn Khaldun, 1332 to 1406, page number 11 of your textbook. Ibn Khaldun is known as father of historiography. It is the study of the writing of history, the people who write history. The whole method and the whole aspect is known as, the whole field of the study is known as historiography, which is a scientific method for the study of the history, which is particularly this is how we have the chain of narrations. This is how we transfer knowledge from one generation to another with documented evidence. Wrote the famous book on the study of history, Kitabul Ibar, and its intro, the Muqaddimah, is a masterpiece on the subject. If you Google it, the Muqaddimah, you'll see that a lot of people have acknowledged the wisdom, the research of Ibn Khaldun from his book Kitab al-Ibr. He explained the cycle of the rise and fall of civilizations and empires, and how it affects the common and the region's economy. So this is very, he gave kind of a holistic view of how the cycle of rise and fall really affects the poor and the the elite of the very particular the region of the economy, and how is it very synchronized with the economy as well. When Europe discovered the work of Ibn Khaldun in the 19th century, it served as an important guide to the development of modern sociology and historical thinking, because he gave a lot of ideas and his theories regarding the rise and the falls and the people's behaviors, along with the economic situations coming up with the rise and fall. So this really helped the people to know more about the governance thing, more about the economic situation, the stability, and how to kind of get the equilibrium, the balance between the both and between the different aspects of governance. So the end of the golden age, the age of development and advances and research in the fields of math, science, geography, and several other fields, in the medicine in particular, I would say. So in 1258, Halaku Khan, a Mongol leader, attacked and destroyed Baghdad, and Muslims lost their house of wisdom, which we know as Baitul Hikmah, along with all learning and research. Actually, he destroyed all the books and threw all the books into the water, so the books got destroyed. Muslims also lost the spirit of inquiry, as science and mathematics came to be frowned upon by the subsequent religious leaders. They then focused on these subjects in the line of Quran and Sunnah, the Quran and Hadith. So basically, when all of the knowledge was lost, and Muslims, they did not produce that much of good scholars in the future, so the only thing they had to do is to stay focused on the Quran and the Hadith of the Prophet and the traditions of the Sahaba. So the golden age of Muslim came to an end after the fall of Abbasids empire, the Abbasid Caliphate, but their discoveries helped Europe to get into advances in science and technology. Even till this day, if we dig down deep into it, we'll come to know that modern times, as we've studied, in the fields of optics, in the fields of medicines, the quarantine thing, each and everything that really helped Europe to develop more till today. So we lost the kind of the advances that we had, because we really couldn't take care of it that well. So recap or overview of what we just studied in this chapter in this particular week. We learned about Ibn Battuta, Ibn Khaldun, and several other personalities, their traits, fields of research, and contributions they gave to the modern world. Although all the knowledge was lost, books written by these learned scholars that we have available today with us. We learned about Halaku Khan and his oppression against Muslims, how he destroyed Baghdad and the Baitul Hikmah, and followed with the and actually the golden age of Muslims ended after that. Fall of Abbasid's Caliphate and the end of golden age of Muslims. So this is very much it from this particular chapter number 2. I wish you best of luck for your test. I'll add the test in assignment and the solve test in the key, inshallah. Take care of yourself, my dear kids and my dear students. Assalamu alaikum.